Welcome to the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I am joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck, and we are going to preview Week 6 of the NFL season. So we're about to be 1/3 of the way through the NFL calendar, which doesn't really hit the same way as saying a quarter or a half, but it's true. 1/3 of the way, which is already really weird. We're going to go through all the games for Week 6. First, shameless plug, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. DK Pop Quiz. Do you even know what our handle is on YouTube?
Ringer FFS?
Yes! Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was going to get you. At Ringer FFS. So yeah, just
Ringer Fantasy Football Show. That's what it's short for, by the way.
I am impressed. Ringer Fantasy Football Show on YouTube. Please go subscribe. Also follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And then, our rankings are at fantasyfootball.theringer.com. And while we're doing shameless plugs, Craig is here recording with us. And you just did an episode with The Town with Matthew Bellany, which is the show you produce. And you just said you had Ari Emanuel on The Town this week?
Yes, Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro. Ari is the founder of WME. He's now his title. He has like 9 titles. He doesn't matter.
He's the real life inspiration for Ari Golden Entourage.
Yeah, number 1 and number 2 at the most powerful agency in the world, which I guess is up for debate with CAA. But it's one of the best, most kind of entertaining episodes we've ever done. It came out on Thursday, October 9th. So whenever you're listening to this, I would go listen to it on The Town. It was great.
That is a great podcast. Crazy. Okay, so we're gonna go through all the games. Check that episode out too. We're going to go through starting with the game of the year of the week.
Yeah. Sunday
Night Football. Usually do Sunday Night Football toward the end of this episode, but I think this is so clearly the best game. The Lions are at Kansas City this week. This is awesome. I feel like we get Chiefs Bills every year, sometimes twice a year. Lions Chiefs is also just an amazing game that we don't get as much. It was week 1 a couple seasons ago, but Lions Chiefs is just, I feel like we're being spoiled with this as an entree in Sunday Night Football compared to like Falcons Vikings a few weeks ago. Like, this is actually pretty epic.
I know. Really it's funny how good it can be and how bad it can be in the NFL. Like it's you can just pair the right teams together and every Sunday night can be entertaining. This is an awesome game. Dare I say a must win, to use a Bill Simmonsism, for the Chiefs. Chiefs are 2-3. Lions are 4-1. I'm more interested in the Chiefs in this to talk about. I think the Lions are good, and I think we know that the loss of the 7 coaches has, at least for now, not made a big enough impact to make a huge difference in the team. Like, the offense is still great. They're second in points per drive this year. So like, the Lions are doing great. But I think what's more interesting is that I don't know what it is, but I think the narrative I guess it's because they're 2-3, but I feel like, people think this is a down year for the Chiefs. And I actually think they're slightly underrated. I don't know how you guys feel, but like I said, the Lions were second in points per drive this year. The Chiefs are 5th. And I'm kind of like, honestly, they've just been losing close games, and it's the opposite of what happened last year when they went like 14-1 in close games or whatever it was. Like, they're just losing close games this year. But I don't know. I'll ask you, DK. Do you think watching the Chiefs this year has actually felt a little different than the past 2 years, which is weird because the Chiefs made the Super Bowl the last 2 years and the offense was kind of anemic? I actually feel like they're moving the ball better this year.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely been the case the last couple of weeks. Maybe they started out kind of sluggish to start the season, but then ever since, or I don't know, the last couple of weeks, it does feel like they're moving the ball a little bit better. I do think Xavier Worthy matters for them and like helps them, gives them some team speed, because that was like the main concern I had early on in the season, is they just don't have very much team speed. This is just a slow offense. Their running backs are all slow. They're starting to incorporate Rashad Smith into their offense a little bit. He gives them a little bit of a dynamic, out of the backfield pass catching type threat. Like I said, Xavier Worthy gives them that stretch the field both vertically and horizontally. They're using him on like jet sweeps and things like that. I think they're going to be even better once Rashee Rice gets back, obviously.
Which is next week.
Yeah. And then the other thing I think that's like a big factor this year is Mahomes is running. And he's been much more decisive as a runner, I guess. Like last year, it felt like he would try to run around behind the line of scrimmage for like 10 seconds and then make a throw. And now he's just more like, I'm going to take off and go. He's trucked a few guys this year. So I think all those things together, I agree. The feel, just like the gut feel, is this offense is working more smoothly and like just better than it had early on in the season last year.
I want to hit on a couple stats that back up what you're saying. Starting with his legs, he's third in rushing this year for quarterbacks, which is pretty impressive.
Interesting.
He's basically averaging around 40 rushing yards a game, which is
a lot.
That's 3 yards less than Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than
40 a game over a season is a fuck ton. I'm going to do the math on that.
I mean, he's going to be around like 600 rushing yards. But
680.
Yeah. I mean, he's 4th in fantasy points per game that come from rushing. amongst quarterbacks, which is, it's basically feels like it used to be Mahomes would go through 4 progressions and then run, and now it feels like he goes through 2 and then runs. And I just think he's playing really well. Also in fantasy, Mahomes has been terrible for a while. And outside the top 12. Mahomes is a QB3 this year. He's averaging over 23 fantasy points a game. He's having his best year since 2022 from a fantasy perspective. And then also, you mentioned like Xavier Worthy and like them needing speed. They kind of have speed now. It's like, I don't know how good any of these, but it's like Worthy,
Thornton,
Hollywood Brown, and
Tyquan Thornton's a 4.28.
They're all sub 4.3 guys.
Yeah. Well, it's the feet in the freezer, head in the oven, where the Chiefs have average speed because they only employ the fastest people in the league, like Tyquan Thornton and Worthy were the fastest people in combine history. And then Kareem Hunt, who's probably the slowest running back, Kelsey's probably the slowest tight end, and Juju's probably the slowest receiver. It's the weirdest mix of talent.
Right.
Yeah, and Thornton, and you can see Mahomes throwing. He's throwing deep now. His air yards per attempt is the highest since 2019 this year.
Yeah, I was going to say that the Chiefs needed I don't know if reliable is the right word, but like a reliable deep threat, because like over the years, I mean, Marquise Brown, not reliable. Xavier Worthy last year, certainly not reliable. He had trouble tracking the ball. He's not very strong at the catch point. But I think Thornton has given them that element. He's a role player. He's not like a star. He's not super dynamic after the catch or anything like that, but he can stretch the defense and get over the top of the defense. And so I think playing that role for them, for Mahomes, has been pretty important, honestly.
It'll be interesting because this is the last game the Chiefs are going to play without Rashee Rice. His suspension is going to end after this week. And so it will be interesting to see. It's funny how the Chiefs are kind of also like your fantasy team, where you're like, oh, if I could just be 4-2 with Rashee Rice coming back, that'd be great. And the Chiefs kind of blew it with Monday Night Football, where the Chiefs probably should have won that game, and they really should be 3-2, trying to be 4-2 entering this week. And instead they're 2-3, trying to avoid 2-4. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Thornton has been an unlock, but also this will be an interesting game because we'll see really if the Chiefs are able to take advantage and actually look like a real offense again, because obviously they destroyed the Ravens, but the Ravens defense has been obliterated. The Lions obviously are going to put up points on offense. The Lions defense, though, is getting decimated again, where the cornerbacks, they're already basically down their top 4 cornerbacks from August. And I'll be intrigued to see if the Chiefs can actually take advantage of that, because everything we're saying, like, they probably should be able to take advantage of that. I mean, they're down to like Avonte Maddox and Amik Robertson and Rock Ya-Sin at cornerback. And also the other interesting part of this game, though, is on offense. I'm very curious to see how Spagnuolo attacks the Lions offense, because Taylor Decker, the left tackle, I don't know if he's going to play again. I feel like we don't know for sure. It's Thursday afternoon we're recording this. I don't know if Taylor Decker is going to play. I kind of think he won't. But even if he does, it's a shoulder injury. He's banged up. But again, if they have Gio Manu, who was a 4th rounder out of British Columbia that the Lions drafted last year, he was a massive reach as a 4th rounder. He's a developmental guy that I was just playing on what is perceived. Or is he? Yeah. He's like huge. He's like 6'7", 350. He's a giant person.
Yeah.
But this will be a really, really, really cool game. So
yeah, for fantasy, I will say that, like you said, because the Lions defense is a little beat up, I do think, let's say you have Jordan Addison or Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, these guys are who are on bye. I do think Tyquan Thornton is like playable this week. And I would even say like maybe a Hollywood Brown. That will change when Rashee Rice comes back. But I think like if you're kind of on the fringe there deciding who to play as your 3rd or 4th wide receiver, I do think those guys are viable.
The simplest thing to me, the difference between this cast of characters at the Chiefs receiver spots and past ones is Mahomes couldn't connect with them off schedule. I know he's beat up on Kadarius Toney, but I'm like, Kadarius Toney could not just get to where Mahomes wanted him. Tyquan Thornton has done a good job of that, better than even Valdez-Scantling was doing. So, Okay. London game of the year of the week.
London.
Oh, London.
London.
I gotta say,
another London.
This
game.
week is a doozy. We got a London game. And then we got 2 Monday night games.
How do you guys feel about the 2 Monday night football games?
Despise it. Loathe it. I think it's abhorrent.
I don't like it either. I like having one game on Mondays. I don't like...
That's the point of having these standalone games, is that they stand alone.
That's, TK. Is that
when
what
you put it that way?
Is that what they call it?
Sometimes it really is that simple.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. So the actual time. They're doing this 2 weeks in a row. So this week, the Monday Night Football stuff is Bills-Falcons is at 7 Eastern, as you guys call it, 4 Pacific, and then 8:15. So they're an hour apart. But the next week they're doing the staggered thing again, where there's going to be a game at 7 Eastern, Bucks-Lions, and also this is next week now. Bucks-Lions at 7 Eastern. Texans-Seahawks is at 10 o'clock Eastern.
We got to get Goodell on the show. I have questions.
I don't.
We've reached the saturation point. We need to dial it back.
We should have when we saw Goodell on the field in Ireland. I should have asked him. What's
again? The first time they did this, I think it was Raiders 9 Raiders Cardinals. It was the Raiders Rams. I think this is Texans Seahawks. Texans is 9 Central. So if you are a child trying to watch the Houston Texans in Houston, which I think is the 4th largest city in America, the game starts at 9 o'clock on a school night. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Brutal. People have families.
I don't
Think
understand.
of the families.
Yeah. I don't understand why you're starting a game at 9 o'clock on a school night.
Heifetz, you nailed that. Houston
night.
is the 4th largest city in America. Good job.
Oh, thank you. Wow. There you go.
Random
what are the first 3?
New York,
Broken
Chicago,
clocks.
LA, I think.
New York, LA, Chicago. But yeah,
Chicago.
There you go. Okay. Anyway, so with that, a lot of weird scheduling coming up. But so the London game this week is the Broncos, who are 3-2, are quote unquote at the New York Jets. It's in London. Jets are 0-5. There's a lot to say about the Broncos, but honestly, I keep thinking about the Jets in this game. The Jets are returning to London after the debacle last year where the Vikings kicked the crap out of the Jets, and Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, who was the ambassador to England for Donald Trump. And so Woody Johnson got embarrassed in front of all his posh, rich, English, fancy friends, and then fired Robert Saleh, even though the defense had given up like no points and it's been terrible ever since Saleh left. And a year later, the Jets go back to England, and it is so much worse than it was then. The Jets are 0-5. Fields is, in fantasy, great, but in real life, kind of a mess. The Jets' offense is horrific. The defense doesn't have a turnover through 5 games, which has never happened since turnovers have been tracked since 1933. That's kind of random, but
that's really random. That's wild.
I don't think that's necessarily a skill issue, but it kind of sucks when you're a defensive coach. Where do you guys think people are with the Jets offense? Because Jets fans are horrific, and I feel like the public perception is the Jets are fine. And in my head, I'm like, this is disgusting.
Is the public perception that the Jets are fine? They're the only team without a win.
I guess. No, it's true. Not fine.
When was the last time the public perception was positive?
No, not public perception. I guess what I'm saying is
neutral.
I guess what I'm saying is I just feel like the Jets offense, when you look at the stats, I can't stress enough how much it's been garbage time. And I just wanted to roll through this.
It's true.
The Jets offense, if you cut out week 1 with the Steelers and everything, the last month, if you just break it into 2 parts, the first 3 quarters where they rank and the 4th quarter where they rank, they have been down 14 points entering every single 4th quarter between 14 and 24 points. Every game of the last 4 weeks. And if you just
give them credit for getting some garbage time points?
No, they're literally. I couldn't believe how black and white it is. Yeah. The last month, the first 3 quarters, the Jets are dead last in points, and then the 4th quarter, they rank first in points. They're last in touchdowns in the first 3 quarters, and then first in touchdowns for the 4th quarter. They're last in first downs per game for the first 3 quarters, and then first for the first quarter. EPA per play, they're last in the first 3 quarters, and then first in the 4th quarter. Like, it is entirely garbage time. Which again, then who did they play? The last 2 weeks, they were down 14. They scored 3 points in the first half against Dallas and Miami. Those are the worst 2 defenses by DVOA this season. So they have the worst defenses. They cannot move the ball. Now they play Denver, and this line is 7 points, and I'm like, I think this is kind of going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah. The offense, I totally agree with everything you're saying, basically. I never really expected this offense to work that well. That was why week 1 was so surprising, is like, whoa, maybe they can actually like move the football and pass and everything.
They can run the ball. Like they can run the ball. Even not in garbage time. They have been able to run the ball very effectively. I remember seeing it like in the first half. So if theoretically not garbage time, they're like first in explosive runs. Like they are able to run the ball.
Yeah, and I think that's what I expected, is like, this is going to be a good run team. They're going to try and do like a version of the Eagles where their quarterback is like mobile and they can run and blah, blah, blah. And then they build the passing game off of that. But like, they've been very bad on offense. But I think the surprising thing to me is their defense is horrible. 28th in DVOA this year, which is, and they've spent a lot of draft capital on stars in the back end. I mean, if you look down their roster, Will McDonald, first rounder, Quentin Williams, first rounder, Jermaine Johnson, first rounder, Sauce Gardner, first rounder. They have like a lot of resources poured into this defense, and it's bad. It's really bad.
Those stats, I don't know if they're built to measure a team that has no turnovers in 5 weeks. So that is bringing them down. But yeah, and then look, I still think, to Craig's point, you can play Breece Hall because they've been running. I'm a little worried. I mean, you can play Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, but even Fields. I mean, the Broncos limited Daniel Jones to like 6 rushing yards.
The Broncos are definitely starting to coalesce, I think, as a team here.
Yeah.
It started out a little shaky, but the Broncos and the Chargers are kind of going in opposite directions in the AFC West. Are there any fringe fantasy guys in this game that you are leaning towards or away from? Guys like Harvey, Troy Franklin, Mason Taylor?
The short answer is I like, if you have Mason Taylor on your team, I would be like, you maybe have to play him, but I
mean, yeah, tight end is just, there's not a lot of options.
But
so I think
overall, this could be a Navy. I don't know if the Jets, look, maybe the Jets win this game and it's funny, but I kind of like, I don't know if Fields gets to 100 passing yards in this game, to be honest. Like that is kind of where I'm at. And if he does, you're literally, I guess what I'm trying to say is Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor, all this production is banking on the Jets are down so much that the defense can like give up in the fourth quarter, which is like a crazy way to try to get all your fantasy points. And it's tough because Brees, Garrett Wilson, you gotta play these guys.
I'd rather play the Broncos. Craig? Would you play RJ Harvey or Franklin like you mentioned?
No.
I think no.
No, I'm not.
You gotta wait.
Harvey.
Yeah. Broncos play everyone.
Fields 0-5 with this Jets team. I kind of makes Tomlin in the Steelers situation last year not look that bad. 4-2 with Fields to start the season. Just saying.
And Wilson. Later.
They beat the Broncos.
He lost a lot of games
last year with Fields.
Maybe the Jets will too. All right, early games. Seahawks, DK, your Seahawks are playing on the East Coast.
A good game. This is a good game.
Seahawks are at the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are 4-1, by the way. I can't get over the.
I know. I haven't quite adjusted to the fact that when the Jaguars are in a game, that means it's good.
I know. Me too.
I know.
I'm still in that mindset. It's kind of bizarre. I also wanted to point out, I don't know if I said this in the past, but we were talking about the Seahawks playing 10 a.m., obviously their time, 10 a.m. games on the East Coast. And I said in the past that they've not been very good. I was dead wrong on that. I guess I just had missed that they're actually very good in early road games.
It's because you were sleeping. You didn't see any of the games.
Also, they're just very weirdly good on the road lately. They've won 8 games on the road, I believe, in a row, which is most in the NFL. So yeah, they're strangely, even though like early on in the Pete Carroll era, I think that was like an issue. They can't play at 10 a.m. games. They did all this stuff to like change their travel schedule and figure out like how they can get like amped up earlier because they're on their body clock is like 10 o'clock in the morning. It's like a little different. So anyway, but the bottom line is the Seahawks have been a lot better in early East Coast games. There was a surprising stat actually from FTN. Aaron Schatz wrote this week that the Seahawks are the second best 3-2 team ever are in their database. So this is clearly like a good team. The Seahawks are. Obviously they lost.
Wait, doesn't the database go back like 60 years?
It goes back to like the 80s. So but again, that's kind of a specific stat. The second best 3-2 team. Obviously that's not like,
but there's still been a lot of there's been a lot of 3-2 teams. I guess it's the same way the Jaguars has taken to adjust. If Mahomes has been playing like Darnold has played so far, we'd be freaking out. Mm-hmm. But it's Darnold, so we're kind of like tempering our.
So yeah, the Seahawks are second in the NFL in DVOA so to give you more context, like so this is a good team. They've lost the last second games to the 49ers and the Bucs. Otherwise, they've been pretty solid in all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. They are very beat up right now. Devin Witherspoon, their star corner, up in the air. He didn't practice on Wednesday. It's not looking great. Julian Love is hurt. Derek Hall, their pass rusher, is hurt. Ernest Jones, their linebacker. DeMarcus Lawrence, very good edge rusher for them, who is like a elite run defender, so that hurts them.
Even Nick Evanwari, the safety, who probably is going to play, but he has an ankle injury. His whole thing is being the craziest athlete on the field, so ankle injury.
So the Seahawks defense is completely beat up right now. It's very concerning. But offensively, like I've said the last couple of weeks, our offense has been incredible. I can't believe how good their offense is. I was very skeptical about them making this change, going to Darnold, switching to Clint Kubiak, who was largely unproven. The Seahawks are first in success rate this year, third in yards per play, 8th in third down conversion rate, which has always been a huge bugaboo for them. They just suck at third downs. So they've been really solid across the board. Darnold's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. In fact, he's averaging 9.3 yards per attempt, which is first in the NFL.
DK, what's your read on the running back situation in Seattle?
I think it's just a pure committee at this point, which is obviously unfortunate for people who drafted Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker, to me, is clearly the more explosive running back and offers more big play potential, but they trust Charbonnet in the red zone and in the 2-minute drill. So Charbonnet, both of these guys are essentially startable, but they just have lower floors. Both of them have lower floors because, Kenneth Walker's just not getting as many red zone looks, goal line looks. Charbonnet is one of those guys where it's like he's a flex play / RB2. Like I have him on one team and I play him every week just because they always give him the ball in the red zone. But it is very much like touchdown or bust for him.
I think for Jacksonville, for fantasy, I think you're, Lawrence and you're starting Brian Thomas. You're holding out hope for Brian Thomas. ETN's been good. For Travis Hunter, I can't remember. I don't think we talked about him on Wednesday with our power hour of like the guys you're considering benching or cutting. Did we? He was
no.
Maybe not.
We'd thought about him.
Yeah, he would have been an honorable mention because he's definitely a guy you're not starting. He hasn't done a whole lot. I think he's starting to pop a little bit. Like he's definitely a guy who I would say like you shouldn't cut. In my opinion.
Oh yeah.
He so clearly passes the eye test as a wide receiver when they throw him the ball that I'm like, I can see a scenario in which the second half of the season he kind of takes off. I thought it was interesting on Monday night what Aikman was saying about how he didn't practice with the offense in college at all. He would just like go play wide receiver, which I don't know if I knew that he wasn't doing that at all.
I guess that's what Liam Cohen told them in the production.
Yeah, that he just straight up only prepared with the defense and then just kind of winged it on offense. And so to me, that makes me think that like I'm going to extend the leash much longer now about like what he's doing on offense as he continues to learn like an NFL scheme and stuff like that. And I just think he looks really good. I mean, he looks like one of those unique talents. Like I remember when Garrett Wilson came in the league and you're like, this guy moves different. I think Travis Hunter's like in that camp.
Yeah.
So
agree.
I'm not saying you start him this week, but I'm definitely saying don't cut him. If
they're ramping him up. And then the other issue or the other really important variable here is they're starting to throw the ball down the field to him. Remember early on in the year when we were kind of like doing this bit where he was like expensive Wan'Dale Robinson? His last two games, the air yards per target are above 10. It's like 11 2 weeks ago and then 16 this last week. Obviously, that's low sample size because he's not getting a ton of targets, but at the very least, they're throwing the ball down the field, which is where his talent, I think, can really shine through. He's dangerous down the field. He moves different, like you said. He can go up. He had an incredible catch over 2 defenders in this last game. So it's the hope is they start to utilize him more as like instead of just like throwing in these stupid little bubble screens 3 times a game, like get him downfield and actually do stuff.
And Brendan Strange, their tight end, hurt his hip. He's out for a month. He's on IR.
Yeah.
So it's like the options in Jacksonville from the passing perspective are actually quite thin now. It's like whatever the hell the current version of Brian Thomas and then Travis Hunter, and that's kind of it. So
Who do you guys like in this game?
The Seahawks. I mean, it's hard to pick because I want to see how many Seahawks are these injured defenders play. I mean, Ernest Jones, kind of like Roquan Smith in Baltimore, the Mike McDonald system is so dependent on inside linebacker being competent that I mean, when both safeties, both 2 cornerbacks and everyone's hurt,
just all falls apart.
But it's tough. Crazy. But even then, I'm like, even just Ernest Jones would make a difference to me. Also, Jags did trade Tyson Campbell, the cornerback, to the Browns for a different cornerback, Greg Newsome, which I wanted to just note.
It's an interesting
cornerback swap.
Yeah, just logs going back and forth.
Logs.
To Craig's point, though, I think the Travis Hunter thing is just worth noting. One of the harder things in fantasy is that, in theory, before the season, you're like, oh, rookie receivers, just hold them. But then when they suck, you want to get rid of them.
Sure.
And Travis
Hunter,
Hunter,
bye weeks start popping up. It's hard.
Bye weeks injuries, and you're like Travis Hunter, Matthew Golden, like a worthy. Rashee Rice, a couple of years ago, guys that do nothing for 3 months and then are just the game changers for the final 6 weeks. And Travis Hunter is still a rookie receiver. So hard to
what's
say
annoying? I agree with this, but it's annoying when a player is suspended in fantasy. You can't put them on IR, but are like in your IR slot, which is right and makes sense. But it is annoying that you just have to like a Rashee Rice just eats up a bench spot for 6 weeks.
Yeah, no, it's annoying. It's kind of it's
like really, I get it. He's being punished, and so you drafting him should also be punished.
It's probably annoying to wait in traffic till he cleaned up that like 12-car accident that he caused. Yeah, that was probably also annoying.
I'm in favor of allowing suspended players to be on the IR, by the way.
Oh, you are?
Why?
Yeah. Because
it's annoying.
It's almost like being injured and committing crimes are different things, but
whatever.
Yeah. DK just desperately wishes he could have stuck Deshaun Watson in IR for his whole fantasy. Just too bad. Okay, Los Angeles Chargers at the Miami Dolphins this week. This is the Tua Herbert Bowl.
This is the sad sack matchup.
I know, man.
Jesus Christ, these two teams are depressing.
Well, the Chargers are 3-2. The Dolphins are 1-4. They're on different levels.
The Chargers
are a sad 3-2.
They feel like they're 0-5 right now.
I mean, the poor Chargers are so cursed. I do think, though, if there's any team that can kind of relight the spark it's the Miami defense for the Chargers. Like, hopefully
Right.
this is the week where things can kind of get back on track. Miami's defense, I won't even get into like, they're just basically bottom 3 in every category. They can kind of rush the passer, but outside of that, like, they're getting torched.
Dude, Rico Dowdle ran for 206 yards and said I would have had more if I didn't start cramping.
Yeah, and like Woody Marks and Nick Chubb had like almost 200 yards combined against the Dolphins. So,
bad.
you know, I think the biggest questions in this game, also in terms of the quarterback play against Miami, every quarterback they have faced outside of Bryce Young has been a top 5 weekly scorer. And it's been Daniel Jones, Drake May, Justin Fields, and Josh Allen have all been top 5 against Miami. I don't know. The big question is like, it's the running backs for the Chargers, right? It's like Hassan Haskins, Kamani Vidal. I added Hassan Haskins in one of my leagues, and I'm debating starting him over Travion Henderson. I know nobody cares about my fantasy league, but
everyone's on the edge of their seat. What are you going to do?
I will say that like I bet you that is a very common dilemma. Is like, I added Hassan Haskins, and do I start him over this like fringe other running back who's been a little disappointing? And so, DK, how do you feel about, you know, what Rico Dowdle did, what the Texans running backs have done against Miami? Hassan Haskins, Vidal, we don't really know what the split's going to be. It kind of seems like it's going to be Haskins is the Thunder and Vidal is the Lightning.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. Do you trust, is this like a stay away, wait and see, or are you willing to take a gamble?
I see, and it's ironic because we have these two guys ranked right next to each other. I see Haskins in like the Charbonnet mold or like category of running back, where I don't really trust him to like rack up big stats. He's probably not going to get a shitload of carries. This is still a pass first team. I think both Kamani Vidal and Haskins they're like fringe flex type players. And I think the reason I like Haskins a little bit more is because I trust this offense to move the football. I trust, especially against this defense, like you were saying, Craig. And then just his opportunities at the goal line. I think he's going to be their goal line back probably. And so, you know, his ability to run forward and slam into the offensive line and hopefully get a touchdown in this game is like kind of where I'm banking on him scoring points. And so that's kind of how I feel about him.
The flip side is, especially if you're playing full PPR, like full point per reception. I mean, Omarion Hampton, before he got hurt the last 2 weeks, had 11 catches.
Yeah.
And again, I know
Vidal is going to come in, or Vidal.
Kamani Vidal, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure his name's Kamani Vidal. People yelled. Enough people who went to his college yelled at me that I think it's Kamani Vidal. So,
well, I saw the Coach Speak Index guy said he posted an interview where that's like how he was pronouncing his name.
Yeah. So Kamani Vidal, there we go. But
it just doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, that's fine.
You should tell him that.
I know.
Let's call the Chargers.
I'm like, buddy, your name doesn't make any sense.
Sorry. It's like, hey, we want suspended players on IR, and we want Vidal to be pronounced how we want it to be pronounced.
Just the worst bad opinion, man.
But I do think Kamani Vidal is if you full point per reception, if you want half, I'm like, I know obviously Hampton had all those catches in part because the Chargers were losing to both, you know, the Giants and Washington. But I'm like, I think he's going to get, like, the floor is kind of there for pass catching work for Kamani. And I agree. Like, Haskins, I think, I don't know if Kamani Vidal and Haskins will be like super awesome running backs for fantasy over the next 6 weeks. But this game, they're totally playable because of the way the Dolphins have been. So I think you could totally play Haskins and Vidal and have low expectations, and your low expectations will be surpassed for double digit points. Like 12 points is totally in range. And
so let's just say theoretically, you have to decide between Hassan Haskins and Travion Henderson. Like,
hypothetically,
where are you leaning there? Just for people who have similar dilemmas.
I think the tiebreaker, to be totally honest with you, is they'll probably play similar amounts because Ramondre is not going to get benched for the Patriots. And the difference is the Dolphins just gave up 206 yards to Rico Dowdle, and do the Chargers team playing the shitty Miami defense. I really think
how is the Dolphins defense this bad?
I actually don't know. I actually don't know.
Like, they have some dudes on that, like, especially on the defensive line. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't understand how they're so bad.
Well, they've actually, they've been able to like bring pressure a little bit, but outside of that, it's been a mess.
Pressure,
like, the secondary is horrible.
Pressure. It's bad for Miami. It's really bad. But yeah, so I think you can play those guys if you need to.
For the Dolphins, Waddle, Tua, or not Tua. Waddle, Achane, and Waller? Are you playing
Achane,
Waller
I
this
think,
week?
could be a top. I think Achane's going to be every week he plays going forward, he will be a top 5 running back. Yeah. He's a receiver now.
I feel like he's already been. He's basically mini McCaffrey.
Yes. Achane hasn't exploded yet, but if you could try to trade for Achane and just pay the going rate, and you will not be disappointed. If anyone was Achane, it's the hardest thing ever just to get a great running back from someone, but you can pay what someone wants, and it's probably not enough.
Waddle has 3 touchdowns this year already, which is more than he had all of last year.
That's
really? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
incredible.
He's looked pretty good. Honestly, he's looked good, right, Craig? Like even the strongest haters could admit that.
I never thought Waddle was bad. I was just upset with the Dolphins offense.
He was they traded up to get him from the 6th pick in the draft. Good can still be disappointing.
Yeah, that's fair.
He was the 6th pick in the draft.
I just can't. It's like I feel like if Jalen Waddle was on the Chiefs, he'd be fucking incredible, and we'd be like, "Oh my god, this is like one of the better receivers in the league." So I don't. I was just. It was more the noodle arm and having to field catches like punts that bothered me.
That's fair.
Punt returner Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Okay. The Ringer Fantasy Football Show is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays on the way, and FanDuel's coming in with something extra. That's right. Right now, all customers can get a 50% PBT on any bet. It's your chance to place that perfect parlay or hit your go-to player prop, and now we're making it even better. Bets for this week, Broncos giving 7 points, as I discussed. I just don't believe in the Jets at all. The other one, we talked about this, the Lions-Chiefs game, man. Mahomes is rushing over under is 28 yards.
He's averaging 38 a game.
And I just...
Interesting.
I just think that like every week that has been hitting, and I just will. And also the Lions play a ton of man coverage on defense, and obviously the guys turn their back to the ball, and I just... Man, I really think Mahomes rushing over is an easy one. Just add a rushing touchdown if you want. I think it's easy. So I like those two a lot. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back because that's what Sundays should feel like. Visit FanDuel.com/RingerFantasy to download the app and get in on the action before kickoff. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. All right, next up here, DK. The Arizona Cardinals, who are 2-3, are at the 4-1 Indianapolis Colts.
America's team.
This line, whatever it is right now, is about to change because Kyler is not practicing for the second straight day. I like this one for our Ringer 107 one. Just the Colts are obviously a wagon, as Craig likes to say. They're looking really strong on both sides of the football. And the Cards, man, they're going through it right now. Obviously, this collapse they had last week against the Titans, where they could have been up 28 to 6?
28 to 6. It would have been.
And DeMarcado dropped the football right before he crossed the line.
I think it's the most unlucky loss of the decade.
Maybe ever.
One of the ball hit Kyler Murray in the face, and then he left the game. Which, to be clear, it's a foot injury he's dealing with. But it looked like he was getting a concussion check after the ball hit him in the face.
But he left after that play, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Was it the way he stepped back or something like that? That was bizarre.
He didn't even dive after the ball.
I know, that's the other thing. He did kind of the Cam Newton thing.
It is one of those things where you never want to question a player's injuries. However, it was really weird he didn't dive on a football that hit him in the goddamn face. And then
I think he didn't know where it went initially. I think he was
he didn't know where it went.
He was looking at it.
He was staring right at it.
I don't know if he saw it.
He saw it.
You don't know if he saw it? What,
he
was
saw
blinded?
He was dazed from getting smacked in the face. He was seeing stars. That's all he could see.
It's like a cartoon. Anyway, just like
it doesn't matter.
Kyler's the foot injury. This is another game.
He might not play. Yeah, it's going to be Jacoby Brissett.
It would be funny if Brissett ran a better offense than Kyler. I will say, Nate Tice, our friend Nate, has made a great point that an underrated offseason move was the Cardinals offensive line coach went to Dallas.
We talked about this.
And I wish we had hammered this more, that the Cardinals O-line coach that really replaced him came from Ohio State, which sounds good. And yet we just saw this last year in Seattle, where Ryan Grubb has a great offense in college, from Washington, goes to Seattle in the NFL. And then oh my God, coordinating an offensive line in the college is nothing like coordinating an offensive line in the NFL.
When you don't have 5 blue chip guys and whatever.
And it's really Clayton
cool
Adams
when you're...
Sorry,
it's cool. No, it's cool when your players are so much better than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chip Kelly. But yeah, Clayton Adams is the guy, and he's now in Dallas as the offensive coordinator, and we're seeing what they're doing with Javonte Williams.
Yeah, and so looking at this game, the combination of Kyler, whether he plays without practicing or Brissett plays, it's that mixed with Lou Anarumo, the Colts defensive coordinator, who is a football lifer and one of them 40
He
years.
got patsied for all the Bengals problems last year, essentially, right?
And I'm like one of them, like 4 decades Rolodex coordinators who's been doing this longer than the Cardinals aligned coach has been alive, basically. And I'm like, this is like a blender that the Arizona is about to go into. I don't know. I'm pretty concerned about this. Never mind Marvin Harrison Jr. playing in Indianapolis, which is also probably, I'm sure we'll hear about that.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's a good one. So there are actually kind of a lot of interesting storylines from this. Shane Steichen versus Jonathan Gannon. If you go back to 2022, they were on that Eagles team that went to the Super Bowl, lost. We were at that game to the Chiefs. After having a big lead in the second half, they ended up losing to the Chiefs. The OC that year was Steichen, and the defensive coordinator was Gannon. And they both went on to get head coaching jobs.
And the Cardinals heavily tampered with Gannon so much because the game was in Arizona. And they actually tampered with him so much that the Eagles actually managed to basically extort Arizona for like a 4th round pick for the NFL to drop the investigation. Like they just kind of just extorted and they got a draft pick out of it, which is incredible. But
anyway, so that's this matchup here. I think obviously the Colts have the big advantage. Again, I'm starting to come around. Maybe this is the moment when Daniel Jones turns into a pumpkin, but I'm actually starting to believe. I'm starting to believe in him. Is what I was saying. He's number 2 right now in EPA per dropback, 105 passer rating, 8.6 yards per attempt. This is the big stat I think that we really can focus on with Daniel Jones and why they've been so good. And part of the reason why they've been so good is he's only taken 4 sacks this year, which is second best in the NFL. The Colts are averaging 32 points per game. Only the Lions are averaging more points per game right now.
At some point, we'll have to admit that these Colts are the 2022 Giants if they were the 2024 Vikings. Like it's like the Darnold 14 win season that even as it's happening, we're like, this isn't real, right? But the Colts, it's just a special thing. It's really, they're fun. They're, but I really do think at some point this will end.
No.
Well, I mean,
but anyway, right?
Well, maybe when they win the Super Bowl, it'll end. I don't know. But I kind of do think this could just be another like blowout for Indianapolis. Like I think they could just run Arizona off the field, to be honest. Like
Colts
the
Cardinals, are good.
It's really cliche. Really matters how you respond to adversity. The Washington Bears Monday Night Football game we can get to later, but that's the rematch of Washington Bears after the Hail Mary. That the Bears obviously gave up the Hail Mary. And it reminded, they lost 10 games in a row after that. Like, how you respond to crazy losses matters. And it really does matter to me about the Cardinals. If the Cardinals get blown out this week, I think their season is over.
It's over. The Cardinals, it's over anyway. The Cardinals are not good. This iteration, the Kyler Murray era, not going to take you anywhere. Whether they're 9-8 or 7-9 or 10-6 or 10-7.
Sound like Jeff Fisher.
Like it's just, we already know. I mean,
this is like so right now the Cardinals are 2-3. This was, I think, the team in the offseason. They were kind of a darling for some of the analytics people because if you looked at the way that their defense played last year, they kind of felt like they were on the come up. I just could never really buy into the Cardinals for whatever reason. I think probably partly due to Kyler.
The reason is Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I regret a lot at taking the Cardinals seriously to make the playoffs. Having said that, the same way we said the Ravens are, you nailed it, DK. The best team I've ever seen that I do not trust to win a football game.
Right.
And I kind of think Kyler Murray is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen that I have never really ever considered could like win a playoff game. That it would impress me. You know,
he'd be very low on the list of guys you trust to like go do a game-winning drive. Right?
Talent versus trust to win a playoff game. Kyler is the most talented person that I have zero trust to win, and anyone can make the playoffs. But I just don't take this game seriously. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So the Cardinals will probably win this game. But
exactly. That is how it goes. Brissett just leads the win. Okay. Speaking of Jacoby Brissett, though. Starting with New England Patriots, who started with Brissett's career, but New England Patriots this week are 3-2. They're at the New Orleans Saints, who are 1-4.
Saints, baby.
I need the Saints to win another game because every time I'm not going to see the New Orleans Saints 1-4, I'm going to be like the Giants are the one, which is just awful. I hate that.
That brutal loss.
And I just have to mention.
Loss. I'm sorry.
So Spencer Rattler got his first career win. He started 0-10. We didn't talk about this. Believe it or not, last week was the first time a quarterback drafted by the Saints won a game for the Saints since 1998.
Wow.
Oh, because they didn't have Breeze.
Breeze for so long, and then
interesting.
That's still like just amazing to me.
Since when? 98?
98 was the last time a quarterback drafted by the Saints won a game for the Saints.
Crazy.
which is crazy. Kai was not alive when that happened. Like, that's crazy. Or I don't know if he was. Anyway, this game, we don't have to spend too much time on it, but basically Spencer Rattler, I also think maybe the best quarterback I've ever seen, who started 0-10 for his career. Like, he's fine.
Wait a minute.
He's playing.
What about Drake May? Wasn't Drake May 0-10 or close to it?
Oh,
that's a good point.
Man. All right, Rattler's the second 1-9. Rattler's the second best quarterback from the 2024 class who started 0-10.
These are the two best 1-10 quarterbacks ever.
Ever. All time.
Quite the statement.
I'll flag this one for Ringer 107 later. Mike Vrabel, I can't say enough about Mike Vrabel's game planning, and the Patriots are giving like 3.5 points, and
even with Taysom Hill back in the mix. Wow.
Only Mike Vrabel can game plan for Taysom Hill.
Here's what I'll say about this game. If I bench Travion Henderson for Hassan Haskins, and Hassan Haskins will then certainly have about 8 carries for 27 yards and 1 catch, and then Travion Henderson, this will be the week he goes off because Antonio Gibson tore his ACL, and now it's just Ramondre and Travion, and this is the week they unleash Travion. He's going to have like 6 catches for 70 yards. I will call Mike Vrabel directly, and he'll get a word from me.
And it's funny too because Mike Vrabel does he makes a clip of stupid shit, I think he calls it. And he just takes plays from around the league that's called stupid shit, don't do this. And he plays it. Kind of like the AD Mitchell.
Not of his own team?
No, of the whole league. Everything that happened last week. And it's like the red zone has all the touchdowns. He plays every dumb play that happens.
That's kind of a fun idea.
And it's one of those where if the Cardinals did that, Amari DeMarcado wouldn't have dropped the ball. That's why he does it. He shows all the stupid mistakes to show you all the colors of the rainbow mistakes can make. I do wonder if Ramondre plays less for one reason. The Giants turned the ball over 5 straight times. And I do wonder if Vrabel's like, if we just don't turn the ball over, we'll absolutely win this game.
Yeah.
And that, but having said that, I wouldn't bank on Henderson.
Game.
I know, I agree, but
why is he still playing?
Because the Saints suck, and I'm like, they definitely would win this if they don't turn it over. So anyway, Craig, the good news is no matter what you decide, it'll be wrong. So
that is correct. I'm going to be agonizing at 9:59 on Sunday.
Give us the update.
I will text you guys again. You know how it goes.
Play Haskins.
Really? Ugh.
All right, don't.
No,
that's my favorite thing ever. When people ask for advice and then I give them the answer, they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Do the other thing." They're like,
"They want you to validate what they're thinking."
Exactly.
Either way, I'll say, really, I feel like Haskins is like you basically are just banking on them punching in a 1-yard touchdown.
Yeah,
that's it. You just need to score a touchdown. And Henderson, I'm like, oh, he could catch some passes, get loose.
I think you want to play Henderson. That's kind of where this is.
Of course I do, because I drafted him. I invested my hard-earned capital in him.
Hard-earned. You earned that 4th round pick. Okay, the Cleveland Browns are at your Pittsburgh Steelers. Speaking of your matchups here, Craig.
Yeah, this is the most Steelers lose this game ever. Like, vibes are high. Coming off the bye, big, awesome win in Dublin. The Browns stink. It's Dylan Gabriel. But I will say, man, the Steelers lose to the Browns. Like they do. They've lost to the Browns once each of the last 3 years. They lost.
Yeah, I was looking at their history. It's like 50-50.
They lost to the Browns at home last year, 27-14. Now, that was Jameis versus Russ, now teammates. The Steelers don't have Jalen Ramsey in this game. They don't have Calvin Austin. I think it looks like Joey Porter Jr. is coming back. Jalen Warren, the running back, I think is coming back. But I don't know, man. The Browns defense is elite. The Steelers defense has not been great. Rodgers has not been good under pressure. I don't trust the Steelers offensive line. To me, this is a screaming coin flip game. Truly. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. I think this game is going to be ugly.
Ramsey not playing is huge because he's been we haven't talked about him enough. I think Ramsey
he's been great.
He's been
awesome.
The hamstring pull away and he had that fumble overturned, but hamstring was Ramsey was straight up like a defensive player of the year candidate for September. No one single-handedly wins a game, but Ramsey single-handedly changed the Steelers-Jets game in week 1 multiple times.
Yeah, the game-sealing breakup.
He was the best player the whole week in week 1. And then the Vikings game, he was all over the place. He should have had a return. The Patriots game, Ramsey's been amazing this season. And I'm curious how the Steelers will play without him.
Yeah, I think, look, previewing Ringer 107, the Steelers are favored by 5.5 points. I hate that.
But it's Dylan Gabriel. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
And
I know the Steelers are coming off a bye.
In Pittsburgh.
I get all that. I'm just worried that the Steelers aren't going to be able to score enough. 5.5 is a lot of points. And I'm like, are the Steelers going to be able to be up by 10 in this game? I don't know.
I know. I feel like Myles Garrett's just going to make his life hell in this game.
I don't know. I don't trust Broderick Jones doing anything. I wouldn't trust him walking me to my car.
Okay, well that's good to know. It is good that Jalen Warren's coming back. If he plays, you're putting him in your lineup, right?
He was like really taking over before he had that knee injury, which doesn't sound like a huge issue. He's practicing in full, like early on in the week, so I do think he's fully healthy.
And also would not play Kenneth Gainwell if Jalen Warren plays. A lot of people probably had him, and so I would play Warren, but. And the Browns just Judkins, man. And then if you have like the tight ends and Joker Fanny, you can play them at tight end. But like I would play any of the receivers on this.
This is going to be a Boswell game. Take the Boswell over.
Boswell, best player in the Steelers. I swear to God.
Best player of the 2020s for Pittsburgh. Easily.
Right. Unbelievable. Next game here. Anything else in Steelers Browns? Craig's right. This is Tomlin. This is a real Steelers play down to the opponent.
It's going to be like 15-11, like some bizarre score.
Like a safety.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Next game here, the Cowboys, who are 2-2-1, are at Carolina's 2-3.
Band ties.
Incredible. So the Cowboys are just this dream fantasy football team, man. Like the Cowboys are offense is top 2 in EPA in passing and first in EPA in rushing offense, and their defense is last in passing. They're basically first in pass offense and last in pass defense in every category, and they're top 3 in rushing offense in every category and bottom 3 in
they're just in the front, party in the back.
Yeah. Just literally they're a points factory. It's incredible. So,
Shoddy, baby. Love Shoddy.
Jake Ferguson, Javonte. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Ferguson just being second in catches, I can't say that enough. Jake Ferguson is second in the NFL in catches, only behind Puka Nacua, who's on pace to break the catch record. That is literally the only person ahead of Ferguson.
Ferguson is on pace. I said this earlier. He's on pace to shatter the all-time tight end catches record. Like he's like on pace to like beat it by 30 or something like that. So yeah, obviously the Cowboys are fun. I think I heard this stat. I can't remember. Maybe it was Evan Silva said it, that the Cowboys are first in both motion and play action.
Yeah.
I don't understand why coaches don't do this shit. It's just like the fucking cheat code.
I wish
just do it.
I wish
it's hard sometimes for quarterbacks. I don't really know.
I should have known when everyone made fun of Schottenheimer being hired that he was going to be a good coach, and Schottenheimer's been a great coach for Dallas. Even though I know obviously things are falling apart, but I think with what he's been given, I think they're doing a good job.
They trade away a superstar pass rusher.
Yeah, the defense was bad with Micah Parsons. Like I think with what he's been doing, the offense is incredible, and the defense, the personnel is kind of whack. So
you know what I don't understand? This is a funny tie-in, actually. Ari Emanuel, the guy who was on The Town, he started his own podcast recently called Rushmore, and they bring on famous guests, and they do the Mount Rushmore of whatever category. They just had Brady and Manning on, and they were talking about
Peyton or the good one.
Peyton, not the good one.
Hilarious.
Because Tom wouldn't do a pod with Eli. Peyton was talking about how when he went to Denver, the Denver coaching staff was like, just tell us all the plays you liked from the Colts and we'll just use those. And I'm kind of like, why don't they, I don't understand what's going on with the Eagles. Like, why don't they just like, hey, all those awesome plays that you did, we'll just use those. The Kellen Moore plays, tell us we have the plays. Let's go back and watch the tape last year. Just take all those plays and run them again.
Draw them up. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand that. And anyway, that's confusing to me. I don't know why teams just become anemic when a new coach comes in, when last year their offense was awesome. Just go use those plays. Peyton said they did it with the Broncos and it worked. He had 55 touchdowns. I don't understand.
I think, yes, I think sometimes teams just are really illogical. That does happen. But I think in this case, the Eagles, their offensive line is really bad compared to what it was last year.
But it's everyone, the routes they're running are it's just like such a more simplistic, less, complex offense that I don't really get why. And you talking about Dallas, like they're running more motion, they're doing all this cool stuff. I'm like, it's just confusing to me. I don't know why. I don't know. Heifetz,
I think the short answer for why Dallas, I think Dallas is an easy thing, is Mike McCarthy. You do something for 40 years. And then you win a Super Bowl. And I know we all think Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks we saw, but Mike McCarthy was there, and Mike McCarthy's like, motherfucker, I taught this guy also how to play too. And it's hard. This is Pete Carroll's problem on defense too, to a degree. Tomlin on defense with Steelers struggles sometimes. Changing what got you to the mountaintop at 54 is just difficult.
Yeah, old dogs, new tricks.
Yeah, it's not just old dogs though. It's old dogs who. Pete Carroll probably had the best defense in NFL history if you adjust for era, what the Legion of Boom did. And you're like, why can't Pete Carroll don't show people your cards? just disguise everything. And Pete Carroll's like, I built the best defense ever. I'm not doing that. You want me to learn how to teach that? Like, they just don't want to teach the course they teach.
But like, what's the Eagles' explanation then?
I do think a lot of it's I think at the end of the season, we're going to hear how hurt the O-line is. Line. Sure. I also think it's a degree of Sirianni. Like, people just don't want to people want to put their stamp on things sometimes.
I know there is an element of hubris to it. I think, Craig, is what you're getting at. It is like the coaches want to do their thing.
Yeah. I do think, going back to the Cowboys, I think I haven't had time to actually make this list, but off the top of my head, I think Javonte Williams' success is the single biggest surprise of the fantasy season. Javonte Williams is the RB3 on the season. It's Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, then Javonte Williams, and after him is James Cook, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane, Bijan Robinson, like all these running backs that we, of course, knew and thought were good. I mean, Javonte Williams was an afterthought that nobody wanted, and he is genuinely like one of the most dependable running backs in fantasy and looks great.
They're third in rush success rate this year. And that's obviously with like shifts on their offensive line. They've got injuries. I think we were expecting, based on the way that the Cowboys approached the offseason, where they basically didn't invest much in the running backs, that they would be super pass heavy. And I mean, they do pass a lot, but this is still a good running team.
It was hard to anticipate. Yeah, the combination of the Cowboys, you're right, even with all the points they're scoring, the running game being better. And also, frankly, Javonte had a horrible knee injury and then hasn't been the same since. And the Broncos got rid of him and he wasn't very good last year. And it's hard. So, when Tony Pollard's like, I'm in the best shape of my life. And then he's like, I was faster after my broken leg. And we're like,
okay,
probably not. And then Javonte says that he said over and over, he's like, I think I'm back to full health. And we're like, okay.
Takes a while.
But he was, and he looks it. So no, I don't think there's anything fluky about what Javonte's doing at all.
For the other side of the ball, the Panthers, I think it's kind of flown under the radar how bad Bryce has been again this year, Bryce Young. Because we, obviously last year towards the end of the season, we were like, oh, he looks pretty great. This is what we thought he was going to be when he came out. He was the first overall pick. And he's gone back to being pretty bad. I think there's moments where he looks pretty good and he's had some incredible plays where he extends the play and gets out of the pocket and does his thing and does sort of the Houdini stuff that he got famous for. But by and large, if you look at the stats, he's pretty bad. I mean, he's 30th in EPA per dropback, 23rd in success rate, 27th in passer rating, 29th in passing yards per game.
Panthers are horrific, and you have to. I think you play Tetairoa McMillan this week because the Dallas defense is so bad. But if Tetairoa McMillan isn't great this week, then he doesn't have any touchdowns. It will be hard to trust Tetairoa McMillan when your season's really on the line if Carolina can't do anything this week. Carolina looks terrible because they are. Rams are at the Ravens, and this is. I mean, this line's 7.5. I think. I mean, this is another game that could be a bloodbath, and this game was one of the best games of the entire season 2 years ago, and this feels like one of the least competitive games of the week potentially, right, DK?
Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, the Ravens are having the year from hell. Lamar Jackson not practicing on Thursday. Today's Thursday, so it's looking very unlikely.
He's not going to play. They're going to wait till he has the bye.
It would be stupid to play Lamar with a hamstring that you could very easily make worse when you could just get 3 extra weeks basically of rest until his next game.
They've got multiple guys on their offensive line who are banged up. Kyle Hamilton did return to practice today in a limited fashion, so he might be back, but Roquan Smith has been hurt. Marlon Humphrey, Chidobe Awuzie, Nnamdi Madubuike is already on the IR. They're just absolutely banged up, and this is the worst defense in football. On the other side, the Rams. I don't know if you guys realize this. Stafford is on pace for 5,100 passing yards this year. He's averaging 300 passing yards a game.
Stafford's incredible.
They're the number one offense in DVOA. They're averaging 25 points per game, and that is against the Texans, Titans, Eagles, Colts, and 49ers. They're 3-2. They lost that. They probably shouldn't have lost that game to the 49ers. I think they're going to look back on that as like a really bad loss.
It was a coin flip game. Could have gone either way.
Yeah. But I mean, they've played against a gauntlet of good, like pretty solid to good defenses. And they're still averaging, 25 points per game, and Stafford is on pace for 5,100 yards. And for fantasy, obviously, the best part is Stafford is the kingmaker. Puka has a 35% target rate, and he's the wide receiver 1. Devontae has a 26% target rate, and he's the wide receiver 15 in points per game. So, love this offense. I think the one note for the run game is Corum was starting to work his way into the rotation a little bit more, and then he had a fumble last week, and now he's going to be banished to the nether realm. What's the Stranger Things thing? The upside down. He's never getting in there.
You were looking for nether regions.
The nether regions.
Probably upside down.
Netherlands.
The nether
He's going to Holland.
I think Kyron played like 98% of snaps after that Corum fumble.
Yeah. If you have,
kind of the opposite of the Ramondre situation.
It's not fool me once, shame on. It's like fool me once, you're fucking God.
Yeah. You have one shot.
He's never getting that job back. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on you. There will not be a second time. Is basically the idea. The Ravens, it's brutal, and the Rams are playing amazing. I just want to say, if Puka has 7 catches in this game, he'll have the most catches through 6 games in NFL history.
I want to play a little name game quickly with Derrick Henry, who I think is going to be a tricky situation this week, because I think the Rams are going to win by a lot, and Derrick Henry is famous for not performing well when the team is losing. I have him ranked much lower than the two of you, and I might just be personally upset about having him on my team.
Right.
But let's do a quick name game. I'm going to start with you, Heifetz. Derrick Henry or Kenneth Walker?
I'd play Ken Walker.
Derrick Henry or Jalen Warren?
I'd play Derrick Henry.
DeAndre Swift?
I'd still play Derrick Henry.
David Montgomery?
Montgomery.
All right, DK. J.K. Dobbins.
Dobbins, just because of he's been much more consistent.
Cam Scatterbo.
Scatterbo catches a lot of passes. I don't know, probably Scatterbo. Henry, I don't feel confident about Henry. I probably should move him down like you.
Rico Dowdle.
Well, I think that one depends on.
Let's say Chuba's not playing.
Chuba's not playing. He has a
playing?
calf injury. I feel like he's not playing.
Playing
Dallas?
Yeah,
Dallas is run D. Yeah, I would definitely play Dowdle.
All right. I half those guys we have ranked below Henry.
We probably need to move him down.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's one of those things where, like, when push comes to shove and you're like thinking about your roster, you're like, oh, I think I do it the other way.
I mean, he basically needs like a punch in touchdown from the one. That's it. I guess he could break a big one, but it's just so much harder.
It's also like they had that one guy. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name. They had him active. Their other running back,
Keaton Mitchell.
Keaton Mitchell. They had him active for last game. I'm wondering if they want like sort of a different style on early downs. Just while we wait for number one, the offensive line to get healthy and Lamar to get back. Their fullback Ricard is coming back, which could make a difference. I don't know how big of a difference it'll make, but that could be something that gives them a boost.
Maybe the key is, you guys ever like switch around where you put players in your starting lineup just kind of for a different feel? Like, I think if you are going to start Derrick Henry, throw him in your flex. No pressure. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're not the RB1 for me this week. You're my third guy. So like,
I actually literally never do that. I just solely do my lineup by time. The earlier you are, the higher up in your rankings. So
really?
I will put Christian McCaffrey in my flex if he's on Monday Night Football.
Playing later.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
which I highly recommend, to be honest, in case hypothetically Christian McCaffrey's like inactive 90 minutes for the game, which I can't imagine why that would happen.
Yeah, McCaffrey, I feel like
that would never happen.
But like sometimes, like I just moved AJ Brown out of wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 2. Like, hey.
Demoted.
No pressure. Well, you're actually an overqualified wide receiver 2 now.
Yeah. The vibes. Craig, I do that all the time. I know 100% what you're talking about. Just feels better. Just feels more right.
Yeah, you move down the thing
to your opponent, right?
Yeah, it's mind games. You move down the thing, and you're like in a super flex. You're like, who's their second quarterback? And you're like, Jalen Hurts. Fuck.
100%.
We're fucked.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, this episode is brought to you by American Eagle. I've got some hot picks for you guys. You heard it here first. American Eagle just launched the second drop of their exclusive limited edition collab with True Colors by Travis Kelce. And we're pretty excited to see what new styles are out now. From incredibly comfy graphic tees to cool jackets to vintage-inspired rugby sweatshirts. We just know you're going to find something fresh for your wardrobe. Not only that, but American Eagle also has so many new arrivals that just dropped, from trending jean fits to cozy flannels to luxuriously soft sweaters and more. You can check it all out at ae.com or just head to the store. The late games, only 3 this week.
Love it.
49ers are at Tampa Bay, which is...
Great game.
That's a fun game.
It's a good game.
This is Brock Purdy not likely to play. So we get another game of Mac Jones, which I don't know. It's just fun. Mac Jones is out there. He plays with a different style than Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's very like understated. He doesn't seem to like get as emotional. I think Brock Purdy's probably better at the end of the day, but like Mac Jones plays like a psycho.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not 100% sure, Craig.
Okay.
I think he is.
All right.
But he was also cramping during that game. I learned a lot about cramping this week because this game's going to be pretty hot, and the Niners it's supposed to be very hot in Tampa, and the Niners are bringing a bunch of pickle juice because I guess pickle juice is the thing that is the fastest relief for cramps. Mm-hmm. It's just basically
that's interesting.
Bunch of salt and potassium in it, and they have a lot of pickle juice in this trip.
Yeah.
Mac Jones has now played in 3 games. He's completing 28.7 passes a game, which is first in the NFL. 301.7 yards per game, which is first in the NFL. 43 attempts per game, first in the NFL. This is and again, they're going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have a good run defense. This is going to be a pass funnel offense for the 49ers. I feel good about playing Kendrick Bourne again. It's looking like Pearsall is not going to be in this game. They might get Juwan Jennings back. He's practicing limited on Thursday. So even with Jennings back, though, I still feel pretty good about Kendrick Bourne.
I feel great about Kendrick Bourne because it's really simple. Has way more experience with Mac Jones than honestly any of these players have with anyone else. Like Brock Purdy, outside of Purdy, Jennings, and Kittle, and obviously Kittle's an IR and Jennings hurt. None of these players have played with Brock Purdy very much. Obviously, Pearsall was a rookie and he had all these injuries last year. And like this year, Kendrick Bourne is almost as much experience with Mac Jones as anyone has with Purdy. And then Kendrick Bourne also played for years for Kyle Shanahan. So he's like light years ahead of everyone else in terms of knowing his job. It's way more than a usual random guy signed with the team. It's nothing like that. So I think Kendrick Bourne, I have way more confidence than the random receiver gets signed and happens to play well one time.
The other thing I think just to mention here, and we haven't really talked about him a ton, is but like McCaffrey's just going bonkers this season again. After like that scare before the season, he is second in overall points among running backs. So he's essentially like a wide receiver. You know what I mean?
I was literally trying to pull it up now, but I think he's third in catches in the league. Literally the catch leaderboard is Puka Ferguson, and Christian McCaffrey has 39 catches for 387 yards this season.
Yeah.
I mean, just yards, McCaffrey's 6th. He's right behind Amon-Ra.
I mean, he's
wild.
100 yards more receiving than rushing.
It's
weird.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, the Niners' run game has quietly been really bad. They haven't been able to run the ball. So again, pass funnel against a good run defense. Start the guys on the Niners. Yeah. Kittle might be back next week,
probably,
or the week after.
Week. I don't think it's this week.
But yeah, he's not back this week.
Bengals are at the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, I mean, the Bengals traded for Joe Flacco on Tuesday, and Joe Flacco is going to play for the Bengals on Sunday.
Flying coach, baby. Did you see there was a picture of him heading to Cincinnati? He's like in line with all the plebs going into. So I have bad news. Coach.
I am very confident that wasn't real. Well, I think it was. I don't think it was AI. I just think that's an old photo of Flacco.
Yeah, that's fine.
Got him a car because Cincinnati, you could just drive
there. So that makes more sense.
He definitely drove, and Zach Taylor talked to him the entire time on the phone. Which
the other thing that I mentioned is, or that I noticed about that is, it's crazy how tall he is. He's like, these are not normal people.
6'6",
He's like the picture. He's just like towering above everyone on the plane.
On one hand, Flacco playing is crazy. It's like he was benched by Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns benched him. The Cleveland Browns benched Joe Flacco like a week ago, and he's 40. So he will immediately be the oldest player in the history of the Cincinnati Bengals. So old that Willie Anderson, who is a right tackle, the Bengals drafted in like 96, who's in the Bengals Ring of Honor, played with Joe Flacco. Like, that's how old a player in the Ring of Honor played with this guy.
I love those kind of things. That's great.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But I mean, look, the Bengals have a right to be desperate because if the Bengals, they want Burrow to be able to come back. The Bengals, I get why they're so desperate. Ravens are 1-4. The Browns are 1-4. The Bengals are like, if we can just be competent, holy crap! Like they could win the division if this. What if Rodgers gets hurt and the Bengals didn't try? So I get it, but obviously this probably won't go very well. You play Jamar Chase just because Flacco's whole job is going to be get the ball to Jamar Chase. T. Higgins, if you're desperate, I kind of want to see how it goes. Chase Brown, I think just because Flacco checks it down so much, I think Chase Brown could get a lot of catches. I don't know if it yards or touchdowns. But I mean, the Packers should win. They're getting their offensive line back. Zach Tom's back at right tackle, probably. Aaron Banks is probably back at left guard. Obviously, Micah Parsons, like, it would just be funny if the Packers lost this game. But overall, Flacco kind of playing with house money because they should lose. The line is 14.5 points.
Yeah.
So
I
it'd
mean,
be funny if the Bengals made it close.
Packers coming off a bye at home. Joe Flacco.
Bengals money line. Let's see.
AFC North right now has some of the worst quarterback play.
Yeah.
I mean, you have. When's the last time a division's had two 40-year-old quarterbacks starting? Rodgers
that's a great
and
question.
Flacco.
Ever?
That's a great question.
Ever?
Probably never, because the list of quarterbacks to throw a pass at 40 is very short. It's like very short.
Yeah.
So probably definitely never.
Yeah.
Probably definitely never.
Also, it's 3 teams in the division this season, because Flacco did it for the Browns and Bengals, and then Rodgers and the Steelers.
Yeah.
So 3 of these teams have relied on a 40-year-old guy. Last late game here is the Titans are at the Raiders. This is I don't want to watch this one.
No, this game is like
Yeah.
this is like throwing 2 toddlers in a sandbox, and it's like, you guys just play together, have a good time. Hopefully both of these terrible situations are enough to get both of these offenses back on track. Gino's been horrible. He's got 9 interceptions in 5 games. They're probably not going to have Brock Bowers. Mm-hmm. Cam Ward's been pretty bad, except the fourth quarter, he kind of came alive. He went 13 for 18, 200 yards in the fourth, made a lot of nice throws. Calvin Ridley kind of came back to life. Mm-hmm. So I do think, although it's frustrating, I kind of do think Calvin Ridley and Elick Iomanner are kind of playable this week, actually. Same with on the Raiders side. Like, I think Jacoby and Trey Tucker are fringe flex plays. And then if there's going to be a week when Ashton Genty becomes a national name and is like on SportsCenter top 10 and does crazy shit and has 210 yards, I think it's going to be this week. The Titans gave up 180 yards and 2 touchdowns last week to Michael Carter, Bam Knight, and Amari DiMercado. They almost gave up 3 touchdowns because Amari dropped the damn ball. But I don't know. I mean, the Raiders are home favorites. When's that going to happen again?
I think I agree. Co-sign all of that. Monday Night Football, 2 games. The first one being the Bills are at the Atlanta Falcons. Mm-hmm. Falcons have been pretty forgettable. DK, what do you make of Bills Falcons?
Falcons are, I had to double check this and make sure I wasn't filtering it wrong. The Falcons are the number 1 team in defensive DVOA through 5 years.
I don't understand that. I got to tell you, I don't, that makes me believe less in DVOA. They lost to the Panthers 30-0, and one of their games is against JJ McCarthy and the Vikings. That's not true. There's no way.
I believe DVOA improves as the season goes along because they start factoring in the strength of the defense much more effectively.
They've never let up less than 22 points. Oh, no, I guess they let up 6 to JJ McCarthy. Okay.
Anyway, regardless, I think the point is they're surprisingly good on defense this year. I would say that. I feel confident about that. They're first against the pass, 12 against the run.
You hold Bryce Young to 30 points. It's like, it's pretty good.
Okay.
They held Marcus Mariota to 27.
I disavowed DVOA. Sorry, Heifetz. I'm sorry for bringing it up. Jesus Christ. They are better at rushing the passer. How about that?
Yeah.
Unquestionably the best Atlanta pass rush in 12 years. Cool.
On the other side, that's all I have to say about the Falcons. Actually, one more thing. Zach Robinson's first game on the sideline was 2 weeks ago. They have a bye last week. And things went way better. Maybe this does matter. I don't know. What do you guys think of this? Because Penix went 20-26 for 313 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick, hit 12 yards per attempt. The previous game, it was under 5. So certainly was a lot better performance. Hopefully that will be indicative of the direction that Penix goes, where he's pushing the ball down the field. But usually when you have a coach moving around from sideline to press box, it's not a good sign for the offense or the coaching staff in general.
It's kind of not that different than Craig moving people in his fantasy lineup to change the vibes. It's kind of like, no one does that when it's good. It's just literally, we can't think of anything else to fix the situation.
Sometimes you got to rearrange the furniture. I will say, I still believe in Michael Penix, and I think it feels like Michael Penix has played more games than he has. Michael Penix has started 8 games. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I think that I trust the coaching staff and the play calling and Zach Robinson. I think they have great skill players and a decent bedrock, a foundation to kind of work from. I am long on Atlanta as an offense right now.
Bills winning by 16.5 or more points is 4-1. Kind of like that for me. I just don't believe in Atlanta. you zoom out, I think the Bills are still an elite team. I know the Patriots beat them last week, but I'm like, Mike Vrabel's an awesome game planning coach. I do not believe in I don't know. I don't think this game will be close. This game, I mean, we'll talk about it in a second.
It's tricky. This is like, I wonder what the data says about like short week for the Bills and Atlanta's coming off a bye at home.
I honestly don't care. The talent, I just think the Bills are such a better team, man.
I think the one of the things I want to be watching in this game is going to be interesting is the Falcons are the number one blitz team in the NFL, 37%. I want to see how much they blitz Josh Allen and how he kind of deals with it. One guy to highlight here, Dalton Kincaid, has started to turn into, I think, closer to what we thought he might be for this offense when he was drafted in the first round a couple of years ago. He's not as he's been banged up throughout most of his career, so now he's healthy. He's the tight end 3 on the season. That's mainly because he keeps scoring touchdowns. But I do think if you just watch him, he looks good. He looks dynamic. He can run after the catch a little bit. He's giving them a weapon that they didn't really have last year, kind of in the middle of the field, right? And him and Shakir are both kind of, I think, developing into pretty good weapons for that.
No one has ever comped Dalton Kincaid to Zach Ertz, but for fantasy strictly, Dalton Kincaid is last year's Zach Ertz, where he is just a trusted red zone option for a great offense. And then everyone's like, well, he can't keep scoring touchdowns. And I think Dalton Kincaid will just have 11 touchdowns this year. And it doesn't really make sense, but he just will because Josh is going to find him. The other Monday Night Football game, again, second Monday Night Football game. Don't know how I feel. Bears are at Washington. This is unbelievable. This is the rematch. This is obviously Caleb Williams' number 1 pick, 2024. Jaden Daniels was number 2. It was a big game that was a huge storyline. And then Bears go to Washington, and Caleb Williams, totally forgotten, drives down and gets a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to get the Bears the lead with 27 seconds left. And then, Washington has the Hail Mary to Noah Brown. Tyreek Stevenson is shit-talking fans during the play. I went back and I watched it. It was so much worse than I remembered. Like I remembered it being bad. And I think Tyreek Stevenson was talking into the play even longer than I remembered.
The ball was at its apex when he finally turned around and he was like, wait, what?
I kind of thought Tyreek Stevenson was talking and the ball was snapped and he turned around.
Somebody yelled 4 and he's like, what?
Oh, God.
The receivers are like 25 yards downfield by the time he turns around. And he just sprints. Brutal. And Noah Brown, I believe, was his guy. Like he was supposed, there's the scrum and there's a guy in front and behind the scrum. And that was kind of his job. And he kind of just panicked and ran. And he's the one who touches the ball too, which I forgot that he dove in and tipped the ball, which if you don't know anything, looks like a good play. But then when you find out his job is to prevent Noah Brown from getting the ball, it really was worse. I almost feel bad for him. He's had a son since, he's had perspective. But anyway.
He's had a son.
Well, no, sorry. That's just me summarizing. I read a lot about Tyreek Stevenson's. Basically, there was a lot of story of like, hey, Tyreek, how you doing, man? I'm going back to Washington. He's basically like, look, man, you have different perspective. He's basically like, my son will have to live with the fact that I did that.
Oh, please.
Well, his son's name's Tyreek Stevenson Jr.
I'm just saying, like, it wasn't the fucking Super Bowl. It was some random game amongst 2 shitty teams. They'll be fine. Like,
people don't forget.
I guess. Like, the Bears were terrible.
Pissed your pants? Did you piss your pants in 3rd grade?
Fine.
Anyway, I actually think these narratives are usually overrated. I do think it matters a lot how the Bears play in this game. And because I would Caleb Williams is a question throughout his career has been responding to adversity, resiliency. I'm not saying just whether the Bears win or lose, but like I would like to Chicago to come out and just play disciplined, not emotional. Like you know what I mean? Like if they lose, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I would like them to just keep their wits about them. You know what I mean? I don't want to see Ben Johnson's rule for Caleb Williams when he showed up was no hands up, no palms up. Don't ever act like you don't know what you're doing. I would like to just see them play like it actually doesn't bother them, not like they're acting like it doesn't bother them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it matters, but I want them to be able to execute. Obviously they care and want to win, but I would like to just execute without issue.
Isn't it kind of telling a little bit that Caleb Williams isn't like the top story in the NFL the last like 3 weeks? Like it's
they were on
like
bye.
They're just playing cleaner. Yes, last week, but I don't know. Just in general, it feels like after the first week, he was like the big story in the NFL. Like what a fucking disaster. And then
they got killed by Detroit. And
they
then
got
they
destroyed.
won 2 games.
But look, the NFL schedule makers, they're good at this. they know what they're doing.
Keep the intrigue up early.
Like if Caleb looks great out of the bye on Monday Night Football, he's going to be a giant. He will return to the biggest story in the NFL. Last year, well, we did Ringer 107, and then, man, we'll see if I have the discipline to stay away from Belichick or not. Who knows?
It's just calling your name.
Let's do Ringer 107 first. Today's Ringer 107 is brought to you by FanDuel. Okay, Ringer 107, we're competing against all the other shows here at the Ringer. We're in second place. I actually don't want to think about that. I want to make the picks absent what place we are. Yeah. I want to throw out a bunch of games, and then I just want you guys to tell me what you're thinking. These are 6, so 7 games. And
okay.
Broncos giving 7 to the Jets because the Jets suck.
Favored by 7.
Sorry, yeah, Broncos are favored by 7 points. Patriots favored by 3.5 because, I mean, it's Vrabel versus Saints. I don't care. Rams giving 7.5 to the Ravens and kind of just being like Ravens
favored by 7.5.
God damn it. Sorry.
We get a lot of emails from people who say they don't like the language, the jargon around gambling is confusing. So.
It's very confusing.
I also just don't like that expression.
The Lions, I know
they're giving points. Okay, what's that?
It does not make sense. First of all, any of those? Did you guys have circled any of those?
Yeah, Rams and Patriots, I have circled.
Should we just maybe we're idiots for just taking as if the Ravens will play like that again? The Rams are playing so well that I kind of do want DK any qualms. Let's lock in the Rams favored by 7.5 points. They have to beat them by more than a touchdown. They're playing so well. Lions are underdogs by 2.5 points. And I understand they're in Kansas City. That's a hard place to play. It's Mahomes. Having said that, there's all this talk right now. Who's the best team in the NFL? I'm like, I think it's the Lions. I know the quarterbacks, it's a tough situation, but I'm like, the Lions being underdogs, I just never want to bet against the Lions when they're underdogs. Like the Chiefs could beat the Lions by 1 or 2 points and we still win. I'm like, I'll take it. It's a toss-up. I want the points in that game.
It's a hold for me. Let's keep going.
Okay. Bengals getting 14.5. Bengals underdogs by 14.5.
I don't.
I'm like, are they lose? Okay. Washington favored by 4.5 versus the Bengals versus the Bears. To DK's point, they're playing better out of the bye. Probably don't like that. This one I like. Bills are favored by 4.5. Bills versus the Falcons. Okay. I think the Bills are a different caliber of football team than Atlanta.
All right.
We know, Heifetz.
If you
DK's still mad that I called out the number one in DK. I'm not mad. I'm just saying DK is both.
I'm not mad. I was just like, you have. No, I was like surprised. I was taken aback because you're so strongly anti the Falcons. Like, I actually think we should ride that. Like, let's go for it. If you
I understand.
Feel that strongly that they're not.
This is how it works. If any of us have conviction, we should go. I thought the Broncos were good against the Eagles last week. I felt that in my bones. We should do that again with Heifetz.
Yeah. No, I support you, Heifetz. I think let's use this energy.
It's a trap. It's a Costanza too. I just watched the Atlanta come out and destroy. I just kind of like, they gave up 30 points to Bryce Young 2 games ago, and then they gave up 27 to Mariota. And now it's Josh Allen. Bryce Young and Mariota, the worst 2 quarterbacks in the NFL.
I hear Josh Allen. I'm good with it. Let's do it.
All right, let's do that. So the Bills favored by 4.5, Rams favored by 7. We're betting on good quarterbacks, and we're laying points with good quarterbacks. Stafford and Josh.
Do we like the Cowboys at Panthers?
I thought about that.
Favored by 3. Yeah. I like Dak.
Yes.
He's playing awesome.
All right. So wait, I think we have 5 here. Let's do the Bills favored by 4.5. Let's do the Rams favored by 7.5. Let's do Dallas favored by 3 over Carolina. Let's do the Patriots favored by 3.5 over New Orleans. And America's favorite team, Colts, 7.5.
7. Oh, yeah. Honestly,
it's moved a point in the last day.
Don't care.
Because of
Kyler. Well, it's Brissett. It's Brissett. Yeah. That one from Kyler's banged up to Kyler actually is not going to play.
Yes.
Right. I'm telling you, we haven't Brissett, lost on the Colts. Not good.
Let's keep betting the Colts until they burn.
This is a little dangerous because we're doing all favorites to lay points. Watch it just be one. This is one of those, if you're listening, you should probably just do one of the like underdog parlays that's going to be like 100,000 to 1. And it's like the best day for underdogs in 30 years. But
that was last week. There was a big underdogs last week.
Yeah.
I will say though, 1 week, I want you guys to give me permission 1 week where we decide 5 games and then I just slack the 5 opposite picks to the person who
I've thought about that. I've thought about just if we wanted to go 0-5, what are the worst 5 bets we could make and just pick those? Part of me is like Bengals get underdogs by 14.5. That's the worst bet you can make. I'm like, just take that.
No, I know. All right, let's ride with these 5 favorites. This is good.
All right, I'm gonna have the discipline to not talk about Bill Belichick right now. Just
we can
crumbling
wait.
at
we
UNC.
Can wait.
We're gonna save that for when he gets fired in like 3 days or buyout or whatever.
$1 million buyout. The second that was in place, I was like, he's fucking gone.
Keep sending your emails too about
like,
us.
Why do a prenup?
$1 million buyout? I'm like, okay, he'll pay it himself.
Yeah.
Keep sending your emails about what husbands were doing in labor while their wives were in labor. Those are great. I have a bunch of those. Those are really fun. We can read those next week. And then please keep emails too about other things you thought when you were a kid that you were wrong about. We've gotten more fun emails about that.
I love those.
Send us those. Thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Ronak. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, everyone, for listening. But of course, thank you, Lauren.
Lauren, Amy Poehler, Ringer employee, hosting SNL this week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Famed Ringer employee.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our coworker.
Amy Poehler of the Ringer fame.
Our colleague.
It's hosting SNL.
Coworker.
Thank you. Hold on. I need to get a band off. Thank you, the Commodores.
Nice. I don't really know anything about them.
I don't know them.
Easy like Sunday morning I was listening to the other day.
Oh.
Because I'm easy.
That's a great
Easy
song.
Sunday morning. Is that a song?
Easy like Sunday
morning.
morning.
Oh.
Great song.
I don't know. I was just listening to that the other day. I was like, this song slaps. So good.
Oh, they do Brick House. I didn't know that.
They had some hits.
She's a brick. House.
Wait, Lionel Richie is the singer for the Commodores?
Oh, shit.
He was for a stretch, yeah.
Wow.
He's the singer of that song.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was Lionel Richie's. I didn't realize he was in a band before he was solo famous.
I did not know that either.
Wow. That's a blind spot for me. Hand up. That's on me.
Tyreek Stevenson over there.
I
My
pride
bad, guys.
myself on knowing things like I didn't know this.
Tyreek Horlbeck says I didn't know.
Three
He was in a
Times
band.
a Lady. That's a good song.
Wow. All right, cool.
They got some good ones.
That's a fun pick, DK. What a funky pick out of you on this Thursday afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. I'm going to listen
what
to
else?
them and on my drive to go do a live town event, which I'm going to do after this.
Nice.
There you
Nice.
go. I'm going to go watch a supercut of Ari Gold and Entourage. But goodbye, everyone. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.